Ladies and gentlemen, I am on a quest to find the strongest SCP to ever exist.
The village was so peaceful until the demon arrived. It is a small, picturesque place nestled in the lush mountains of Chile, hundreds of years before the world became the connected whole it is today. It is a world where that which exists beyond your borders ought not to exist at all. The people there live quiet and simple lives, herding goats and alpacas, growing crops in the hills, tanning, dyeing, and weaving. They are hardy people, acclimated to the often rough and unforgiving life on the slopes.
That's honestly like how a lot of these SCP videos are. It's kind of just like people like this, just normal everyday people minding their own business, doing their own things, you know, they're doing their work, they're going home to their families, and then out of nowhere, a random, crazy, psychotic SCP that doesn't abide by the laws and natures of like normal physics, kind of just like comes in and destroys absolutely everything. And the fact that in this video, we don't have just one, but we're gonna have two SCPs battling, you would think probably to the death, or at least until like one, I don't know, like subdues the other. Like this place is going to be destroyed. But yeah, SCPs, especially these SCPs, are, yeah, pretty darn destructive, which is unfortunate.
Like most in their time, the people here are ruled by superstition, a firm belief in the existence of gods and monsters beyond the veil. Some would scoff at their faith, call them primitive, but the reality is, an open mind will often catch more truth than a closed one.
That guy definitely knows some stuff.
We all know the truth.
Oh.
There are indeed monsters out there, haunting the dark. Always have been, always will be. The main difference is that now we have an organization on our side, a group prepared to die in that dark so we can live in the light.
So I wonder if this, maybe the events in this video, take place before the SCP Foundation was ever even created. Because if it does, yeah, they're not going to stand a chance. Because even the SCP Foundation has a really hard time containing a lot of the SCPs that they come across.
The people of back then weren't so lucky.
Oh,
they were forced to confront the gaping jaws and burning eyes of the unknown with no aid.
That's unfortunate for them.
That would soon be turning to the innocent people of this rural, isolated Chilean village. It all began with a missing teenager. The boy was out hunting for game in the forest when his parents realized it had been hours since they'd seen him. As the shadows grow longer and the sky begins to darken, a rescue party forms and ventures out into the wilderness to search for him.
Oh boy.
Armed with clubs, bows, and arrows. The mountains can be a treacherous place between the harsh terrain and the many dangerous predators who hunt out there too. Little do they know, the boy they are searching for has fallen prey to a new type of predator, one that none of the villagers has ever encountered before. Okay,
so if I had to guess and make a prediction here, I think that SCP-001, aka the prototype, is probably the bad guy in this situation. I've watched a different video about the prototype, and it seems like the prototype, honestly, like, isn't really a friendly SCP by any means. And the other SCP in this video is 096, also known as Shy Guy. And Shy Guy, even though, like, if you look at it, it will find you and it will kill you no matter where you are on planet Earth, or sometimes not even on planet Earth, it will find you and get you. Shy Guy really kind of just, like, minds its own business. And it also seems like Shy Guy is just, like, kind of like the rest of us, just like a normal person, but also just has like this incredible power and really is self-conscious and just like doesn't want anybody to look at it. But it doesn't seem like it's a bad person. Like if you leave Shy Guy alone, it's not going to come kill you. But the prototype, on the other hand, even if you know, aren't around it, or if you just come really unlucky and you come across it, it's going to try to like hurt you and murder you and send you to like a pocket dimension. It just seems like it's like the supervillain SCP, whereas Shy Guy kind of seems like it's pretty neutral. Like as long as you leave Shy Guy alone, you're pretty much good.
Or it's another few hours before they find him. One of the men in the search party remarks that the boy seemed to have gone far further than he should when hunting. Another replies that perhaps he didn't venture out here at all. Maybe he was dragged. No one honors that with an answer. They keep their heads down and keep searching. The possibility is too frightening to truly consider. If a dangerous creature has made its home in the forest surrounding the village, then all of them are in trouble. Not long after that, they find the missing teenager, injured and unconscious.
Oh, okay, so he's still alive.
With 3 ragged claw marks cut into his chest.
Barely.
The silent thought passes between them. What animal has 3 claws? No animal that they know of. But now is not the time to think of that. They need to wrap the injured boy in blankets before he freezes to death out here or succumbs to his injuries. First, they need to ensure that he survives this. Then, they need to find out what did this to him. Soon, the boy is lying in the home of the town's medicine man, a rudimentary scientific figure with a wide knowledge of herbs and plant-based medicine, but he cannot diagnose the sickness that the boy seems to be experiencing. He has nausea, dizziness, a rattling cough that sometimes produces blood, and his skin is taking an odd, unnatural hue.
He's gonna turn into a zombie.
This can't be the result of his injury, the medicine man concludes. The wounds are actually relatively shallow. This malady must have another source. The villagers pray for the boy and leave offerings and sacrifices at their altars for his recovery. But it does no good. Later that same night, he splutters blood and passes away.
R.I.P.
His dying words, heard only by the medicine man, is that there is a monster in the forest, and the most frightening thing of all is that he's right. Over the next few days, it gets worse.
So, guys, if you were in this particular situation, comment down below what you would do. Personally speaking, I would probably evacuate the village. I would get as far away from wherever I saw the SCP, or at least like I knew about the SCP, as possible. I would put as much distance between me and my village, and I'd just book it, because I mean, yeah, stuff like that just really creeps me out. And that's why I don't touch grass, and that's why I stay inside, because it's scary.
Far, far worse. The same mysterious affliction that killed the teenage boy starts to spread across the village, infecting the vulnerable and infirm with deathly sickness. Livestock begins to go missing or are found dead when the sun rises, cleaved with the same 3 deadly razor-sharp claw marks.
Oh, they're all doomed.
And if this wasn't all horrific enough, soon the crops begin to die off.
So they have no food,
as though the same sickness
no
that's
livestock,
the people and the animals.
Everybody's getting sick.
It's impossible to ignore the reality of the situation now. There is a demon in their midst. And if
well,
they don't
yeah.
kill it will kill all of them.
How do you kill
the
a
town holds a
demon?
meeting in their square, where it quickly becomes apparent how drastically the town's numbers have dwindled. They are a shadow of their former glory. Some men suggest forming a hunting party to rampage through the forest, find this monster, and kill it. Others wisely bring up that this might leave the village's women and children undefended. What if the creature were to attack while they were all in the forest?
True.
It would mean certain
Good
doom.
point.
Frightened discourse soon gives way to a heated argument.
Just
People
run.
can become violent when
Everybody
they're afraid,
run.
and when the thing causing their fear is nowhere to be seen, that violence is inevitably channeled toward one another. However, before things can get out of hand, the brewing calamity is quickly ended by the sound of 3 firm taps against the ground. They all turn and see the village elder,
it's
an old blind man who
SCP-096.
uses a gnarled walking cane.
No, not
Crowd
actually.
falls silent. This man commands ultimate respect among the villagers, and for many, his presence has an immediate calming effect. Perhaps he would finally have a solution to this problem. There is a way, he says with a slow, rattling voice.
So I'm curious, does like this guy have some sort of connection with Shy Guy? Honestly, like that would be kind of crazy. He also does have some like weird looking eyeballs. Like I can't tell if he's blind or they're just trying to show that he's old, but I don't know. Like, could this be Shy Guy? Like the first ever version of Shy Guy, and like he transforms himself into the SCP? Probably not, but I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Maybe that's something that could happen. You never know.
What is the way, Elder? Asks a younger villager. An ancient guardian spirit that lives in the mountains. I can bring it here, and it may be able to help us.
So he is friends with SCP-096.
One rule, which must be followed at the cost of all others.
Do not look at
None
it,
of you may gaze upon this spirit,
or else you die.
must keep your eyes closed. If you see it, a horror far worse than the ones we've experienced here will fall upon this village. With the approval of the rest of the village, the elder makes a rough pilgrimage up into the mountains, made even rougher by his age and infirmity. But the safety of his village is at stake.
So I wonder if maybe the town elder is blind, which makes him pretty much invulnerable to SCP-096. Because blind people obviously can't look at Shy Guy, which means that Shy Guy doesn't really care about them. Like he's cool with them and they're cool with him, and you know, they could just be friends.
There is nothing he won't sacrifice to see that its existence will be maintained.
Now, who wins the
only thing
actual
he
battle,
carries,
though?
other
That's what
than
I'm
his
curious
walking
about.
stick, is a length of rope. Soon he reaches the mouth of a cave, an ancient cavern cut deep into the flesh of the mountain. He enters. As a blind man, the darkness means nothing to him. The cave is silent at first, but soon he hears something. A quiet, pitiful weeping. That is how he knows he's close to the legendary guardian spirit. The old man has never seen this supposed spirit, but if he did, he would know that it is a long, pale humanoid with grasping hands and a terrible face. He knows the beast is capable of great violence, but he also knows that the beast is not evil, for it takes no pleasure in that violence. The elder's knowledge of the guardian spirit in the cave had been passed down for generations in his family. He had been told throughout his childhood about how the guardian spirit defended their village in dangerous and desperate times.
I've honestly never heard of an SCP being called like a guardian spirit before. Usually the SCP videos that I see and like the SCP Foundation website that I read about, a lot of people are like scared of them and they're like, do not get close to this SCP. This SCP will like tear out your eye sockets. So it's kind of cool to hear that like they actually think of Shy Guy as this protector that can save them from anything else that comes, like a demon, for example, like the prototype.
When bands of raiders had invaded almost a century ago, the guardian spirit destroyed them. When beasts emerged from the woods, the fear of the guardian spirit warded them off. And here and now, the elder is certain that the guardian spirit would be able to defeat the demon terrorizing them. He takes the rope and ties it around the weeping monster's neck, forming a makeshift leash. He spoke a soothing incantation and exhaled. "It's time for you to serve us once again, Great Spirit," he said. And so begins the treacherous journey back down the side of the mountain.
Okay, so he definitely has to be blind, because if he wasn't, Shy Guy would have torn him into a million jillion pieces.
But in his absence, back at the village, the situation is deteriorating. Hours have passed, and night is about to fall.
Oh,
the
no.
demon only attacks at night when they're most vulnerable. Fear has already poisoned the hearts of many of the village's men. They sequester most of the remaining population away in the village's largest home and arm themselves. They have no faith in the Elder's mystic solution. They will find this abomination and kill it themselves. There is no other way. But as they gather in the village square and prepare to lead an assault on the forest, they never would have expected the monster they're hunting to come to them. And in an almighty flash,
there it is.
appears in front of them.
The prototype.
It's even more horrible than they'd ever imagined. A large, spindly beast with black spikes for legs, an emaciated body, the same 3 black claws that had left those terrible marks on all of its victims. But worst of all,
Ew.
the featureless,
It's so
tooth-lined
gross.
maw with a huge glowing eye inside.
That's like the worst looking SCP that you could ever imagine. Like, literally, if I imagined the most disgusting humanoid creature on planet Earth, I would probably picture this thing. It literally... It's first off, it's giant, it has like huge overgrown nails, it has the skinniest body parts ever, and its face is just like a big booger that has teeth on it.
It is a monster worse than even what their nightmares could conjure. Before they can even attack it, it unleashes a blast of energy that blows back the ones closest to it, leaving them dead or dying, their skin horrifically burnt.
Ew.
Those further back run in to attack the monster, screaming with a fury that they hope will hide their terror. But the monster is far faster than them. It whips out its claws and slashes at them, hitting each one with a deadly kill strike.
Oh, they really
aren't
need
able
Shy Guy
land
to
a
help
single
now.
hit on the beast. As the bodies hit the floor, some try to run.
Let the
but
bodies hit the
already too
floor.
late. One person attempting to run suddenly feels a pain in his chest. He freezes in place, and then is simply sucked into himself.
It's
screaming,
the prototype
bubbling away,
special ability.
and
He can just
disappearing
summon in a
entirely.
black hole
While
wherever
the
he
language
wants.
to understand how this man died would not be developed for centuries. We today would be able to say that the monster, today known as SCP-001, the prototype, created a singularity within the man's body, absorbing him into himself.
Also, guys, I recently learned this from your guys' comments, actually, that SCP-001 isn't the only SCP-001. Like, there's actually hundreds of SCPs with the same name of 001, and technically speaking, like, it's not the first SCP. Like, a lot of people think that they know what the first SCP is. The prototype could be one of them, but, I mean, there's hundreds of SCP-001s. So, yeah, just fun fact for you.
The people cowering inside can hear the screams and the terrible sounds of their fellow villagers, their friends, sometimes even their families, being massacred outside. They believe in the Elder and follow his teachings despite their fear. They keep their eyes forced closed. Some of their strongest men have gone out there to face the monster and had been slain. There is truly nothing they can do except wait and hope. Outside, the creature, the demon that had been the ruin of their village, is the only thing still alive. The many bodies of those slaughtered lay twisted on the ground around it. Then, it begins to hunt. It wants to find the others.
Okay, where the flip is Shy Guy right now?
Making a tack, tack, tack sound on the ground beneath its sharpened points.
Ew, that's so
surviving
gross.
Villagers do all they can to remain silent as they hear it getting closer. Death itself draws near. Then, someone and something else enter the village.
Woo!
The demon hears them arrive.
Let's
and skitters over
go!
to investigate.
I never thought I'd be
Arrive.
cheering for Shy Guy.
He knows what happened. He can hear the demon. He can smell the burning flesh of the dead. And he has brought another monster on the end of a rope.
Yes,
A guardian
sir!
spirit. A thing that, centuries later, would become to be known as SCP-096, the Shy Guy. And the demon had made the terrible mistake of looking at its face. The monster began to cry.
Yes!
You have defiled and profaned my
Let's
village,
go,
demon,"
dudes.
the elder said, speaking over the guardian spirit's wailing. This is your divine punishment. You will be removed from the face of the earth for your crimes. The demon releases a
Will it
blast
work,
of
though?
radioactive energy, striking the elder directly.
Oh,
and
he
killing
did.
him instantly.
Oh, bye-bye,
But
Elder.
despite the residual burns from the attack, the guardian spirit is unaffected. It continues to bawl loudly. Then, with the fury and speed of a bullet train,
Oh, come on,
it
let's
roars
go.
and gallops towards the demon.
So Shy Guy is extremely fast. It can survive practically anything. I think it might be technically invincible. Like, it can survive in space, underwater. It really doesn't take any damage. And it also, like, literally will not stop until it destroys whatever looked at it. So it's going to go after the prototype until it's dead, pretty much.
Its clawed hands extended. With one strike of the back of the guardian spirit's hand, the demon's body is thrown through a nearby empty house, tearing through the brickwork.
That's
and sending it skidding
crazy.
across the ground on the other side. The demon rises shakily to its feet, dazed and hurt. It doesn't understand. How had that creature resisted the radiation poisoning? It only showed minor burns.
Yeah, I don't think the
It didn't make
prototype's
sense.
ready for
It
the
makes
Shy
even
Guy
less sense to the
showdown.
demon when the guardian spirit comes bounding through the wreckage of the house, its burns already somehow completely healed. There is no hesitation from the guardian spirit. It leaps towards the demon, and the demon only narrowly dodges the spirit's grasp. It rakes its claws along the spirit's back as it glides past, leaving another 3 distinctive scars.
Oh,
By the time the
dude.
creature lands on all 4 spindly limbs, the wounds are already seamlessly
He has
healing.
super healing.
This is nothing like fighting a mere human being. Perhaps the elder was right.
The
This
prototype
creature
was
is a
not
divine
prepared for this.
punishment, and it really is here to wipe out the demon.
The only thing I am really curious about is if Shy Guy can handle the black hole that the prototype can spawn in.
Once and for all. But if that is the case, then this demon won't be going down without a fight. It creates a singularity within the guardian
Oh, here we
spirit's
go.
chest. The spirit doubles over in pain, howling and clawing at the dirt beneath it. But to the demon's surprise, the guardian spirit doesn't crumble like the humans did.
Oh, it's over
Massive
for the
amount of
prototype.
radiation being caused as a side effect of the singularity barely seems to faze the beast.
Wow.
The demon strains to increase the power of the singularity within the guardian spirit, but other than causing it to wail
Yeah,
and
it's
bellow
not
louder,
working.
it seems to have no meaningful effect. The demon, on some level, thinks it's as if the creature is held together by an invincible skeleton. No matter what it does, it only seems to be able to leave superficial damage. The monster is unbreakable. The guardian
Yeah, that's
spirit
Shy Guy
flails
for
and
ya.
lunges, breaking the demon's concentration and causing the singularity to collapse. Taking advantage of the sudden respite, the guardian strikes the demon on its disgusting, bulbous head, causing it to stumble backwards, dizzied. The demon steadies itself and gives a defensive screech, but the guardian spirit ignores it.
So can the
Instead,
prototype be
it leaps
destroyed?
onto the demon and grabs it. Shocked
Oh, we're
by the
about to
sudden
find out.
ferocity of its attacker, the demon clawed at the guardian spirit's face, wounding it but not deterring it. The guardian spirit has a grip that would put iron to shame. Despite trying to wriggle free, the demon couldn't seem to escape.
Wow.
As the guardian spirit roars and stretches open its jaws, the demon activates its emergency escape feature. It creates another miniature singularity around itself.
I think
a
it might bring
wormhole,
Shy Guy with
and
it.
vanishes.
Oh, no.
The demon reappears in the woods, feeling, for the first time in its wretched existence, a pang of mortal fear. At least it was able to escape back into the woods, where it could steal away into the night and fight again another day. It understands its
But
enemy
wait a
now.
second, guys. Shy Guy will not stop until this thing is dead, and it knows exactly where to find it too, even if it teleports away.
Figure out weaknesses. It could plan, strategize. But its thoughts are interrupted by a familiar, horrific wailing.
Yeah,
Shocked,
dude.
the demon looks up. It sees the guardian
look, there's
spirit
Shy Guy.
bounding towards it across the forest, barging through trees and splintering them into wood chips. How? How had this creature gotten here already? It's as if it has an innate sense of the demon's location. The demon steels itself and summons all of its power. It would need to annihilate the guardian spirit now.
It's
or it
not
would
going to be
done
enough,
for.
dudes. There's no
It
way.
opens its freakish head, and the eye in its mouth glows, releasing
Whoa.
a wave of radioactive heat that bakes earth and disintegrates trees in its path.
Wow.
It catches the guardian spirit in the blinding blast and wipes it out.
No.
When the smoke clears,
No,
there's
no,
nothing
no,
left
no.
of the guardian spirit
He's
but a
gonna be right
charred
behind him.
skeleton. The demon
What?
approaches, perhaps to investigate the kill, perhaps to take in the victory. But suddenly,
Oh.
the skeleton rears up, already beginning
crazy.
to regrow its flesh.
That's
and closes its
insane.
clawed hand around the demon's
It's
throat.
literally the Terminator.
The demon screams, but not for long.
And
out the
guys,
Dr.
yeah,
Bob
I
page.
think it's safe to say that Shy Guy is probably the, like, at least top 5 strongest SCPs. Comment down below who else Shy Guy should go up against next. And while you're at it, click right here to watch more SCP videos.